over the next couple years, there's a lot of money up for grabs as far as baby boomers retiring. They own 40% of businesses, and 10,000 boomers retire every single day. There are 6 million businesses that will either need to be sold, inherited, or they're just going to cease to exist, which is going to result in $5 trillion in valuation.
That's crazy.
Up for grabs. Yes.
That's wild.
So this is a huge opportunity that I don't think that people really understand. I'm intentionally not covering the war right now because anytime you look on the media and it's one thing that's being covered over and over and over again, there is something that's just as important or slightly less important that's not being covered. You already know everything that's going on with the war. Oil's up, inflation's up, bing, boom, bop. But guess what? There is so much money. This wealth transfer is happening and you need to equip yourself. I'm gonna talk about how you can potentially do it with $0 out of pocket. Go find yourself some business or businesses to buy, and we going to dive deep into it today. Hey, quick disclaimer. None of this is investment advice. This is for entertainment and informational purposes only. I am not a financial advisor. I am not your financial advisor. Do your own research. All investments involve risk. So this is not investment advice. This is just my opinion. Enjoy. Okay, so the last 30 days have been a complete whirlwind as this YouTube page has gotten 20,000 subs.
Okay.
And we're about to cross the 50,000 threshold on Instagram, which is like literally out of nowhere. Most of that is over the past 30 days. And I am really, really grateful. Shout out to all you guys and our investor family.
Ooh.
And I know the show is entertaining, but I don't care if you're entertained. If you do not walk away from these episodes with at least 2 to 3 investing strategies that are very actionable. And so on this episode, I'm going to give you a very actionable investing strategy, but I need to tell you why. Why that is important to me, right? Because yes, everyone says, yeah, I want my viewers to do great. Yeah, sure. I mean, that's the ethical way to do business, but why does this benefit me? Okay. Why it benefits me is because, number one, first of all, I'm very, very clear in my life, me and you have had this conversation, that my purpose is to help people get to their purpose.
Right.
Specifically in God's kingdom. Okay. I'll make it known. If I can help you get to your purpose, cool. But what good is it if you don't have the money to execute in your purpose? Okay. One thing I have noticed, especially since we just got to 2026, but we have been accelerating to this point where the war between good and evil is very much so intensifying.
I agree.
It's very much so intensifying. I've never seen anything like this before.
You can see it clearer than ever.
Clearer than ever.
You can feel it.
When I was feeling it, but the biggest sign that I had was in January, Drewski did a skit mocking the Christian church.
I saw that.
I didn't watch it. I just saw the comments and I saw him on stage with shooting sparklers, right? And so he's not wrong. But at the end of the day, that type of stuff hurts the body of Christ, okay? Now, cool, it is what it is. I can't do anything about the fact that there are pastors out there that want to ride on unicorns with glitter shooting from the sky and cartwheels with tight pants and all types of stuff. But immediately after, literally days apart, your church, Church 2819, was on CNN. Days apart? This is crazy. I don't know if any of you guys noticed it. This is crazy. Now,
I saw both and I didn't notice they were that close.
Days apart. One was January 12th, one was January 16th. Okay? Crazy, right? Now, am I here to defend the Christian church? No. But just those two polar opposite things, normally people will be afraid to make make fun of the church.
Right.
And normally CNN wouldn't cover a church. And then the coverage was just so crazy because it was talking about how people would stand outside for hours waiting for the church doors to open. Not to mention, this is crossing race barriers.
Right.
A lot of the people that they were interviewing, the pastor is black. A lot of people they were interviewing were not. Okay? So let's just pretend like we are not in the church right now. But to see those polarizing things, that's major. That means that there is a major, major battle right now. Then if I think about some of the things in my life, so many really, really amazing things happening, and then so many things that's trying to come against that. Okay. Then we think about where the economy is right now. Y'all know volatility, queen of volatility, right? Nicole Volatility is my name. One day everything is up, and the next thing, a news come out where everything is down. The U.S. is set to make a ridiculous amount of money from oil right now. At the same time, we're at war. So the battle is very much so intensifying, okay? It seems like when I don't know about your timeline, but my timeline is full of people peeling back the veil, and also people realize that the media has been lying to them. But at the same time, we got all this information about people in worshiping Satan that's in power. And so it's like, this is just intensifying so much. Okay, what does that have to do with all of you? There's a scripture that I hold close to my heart as I do business, and this helps me to have some perspective on things, okay? Pull up Luke 16:8.
Luke 16:8?
Yes, and read it.
I'm going to read out the ESV version.
No.
No.
Read out the King James.
Read out the King James.
Disrespect me and read out of nothing but the King James, okay?
Let me read
all
out,
them other Bibles is died.
Let me
right.
read
And that's a whole nother conversation.
JV.
We not doing no ESV.
All right. So Luke 16, chapter 8.
Verse 8.
And the Lord commended the unjust steward because he had done wisely. For the children of this world are in their generation wiser than the children of light.
So, the people of this world, they know how to set up all these financial tools to make money. And the children of light don't understand, or willfully being ignorant to how to set up these financial tools, because they are misidentifying these financial tools as evil. And so you have earthly laws, and the people of this world, they understand these earthly laws. These earthly laws are in place so that we, the children of light, can look at this earthly realm and we understand it so much more easier. But we have something that they can't do. We can operate according to the spirits, which is a higher law over top of this earthly law. It's almost like if you know long division and you decide that you're only going to do long division, but you're not going to do arithmetic, you're not going to do addition. Addition is so much easier. Okay? Or you know calculus and you decide that you're just not going to do A plus B. This is so much easier. You can do that too. But you also know how to do calculus. They cannot do calculus. Okay? So I love that scripture because it reminds me that we can't let them outsmart us on this realm that's beneath us. This is easy for us. This is why I had this show, so that you can learn how to operate financially in this realm. Because you're going to need the money. You're going to need the tools to do good in this realm, because they're using these same tools to do horribly, to do horrible things.
And you know what that makes me think about? Are you familiar with the parable of the talents?
Of course I'm
in the Bible?
familiar with the parable. I got so much to say about the parable of the talents.
That directly makes me think about the parable of the talents, because that the core principles of that parable is investing and showing you how to properly invest, though.
All right, let's come back to that. Don't forget that. Okay. What I want to specifically talk about today is there is, over the next couple years, there's a lot of money up for grabs as far as baby boomers retiring. Okay.
Okay.
They own businesses. They own 40% of businesses, and 10,000 boomers retire every single day. At the end of the day, there are 6 million businesses that will either need to be sold, inherited, or they're just going to just cease to exist, which is going to result in $5 trillion. 5 trillion in valuation.
That's crazy.
Up for grabs. Yes.
That's wild.
So this is a huge opportunity that I don't think that people really understand what it is. We're so caught up, and I'm intentionally not covering the war right now because anytime you look on the media and it's one thing that's being covered over and over and over again, there is something that's just as important or slightly less important that's not being covered.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So
100%.
you already know everything that's going on with the war. Oil's up, inflation's up, bing, boom, bop. But guess what? There is so much money. This wealth transfer is happening, and you need to equip yourself. So I highly recommend that you pick a industry, go find a business to buy, and I'm going to talk about how you can potentially do it with $0 out of pocket. Go find yourself some business or businesses to buy, and we're going to dive deep into it today.
Okay.
Now, before we get into that, now let's talk about the talents, because I want to make sure that we're on the same page spiritually as we do this. So what were you going to say about the talents? This is one of my favorite.
Yeah, I was just going to basically say the core principles of it is just, like I said, is just teaching you the aspect of investing. Because I think a lot of people, especially a lot of people of the Christian faith and Christian walk, they look at money as something that is potentially just like evil. Because in the Bible says you cannot serve two gods. You cannot serve God and mammon. Mammon is money. So, you know, so they look at it in a sense of like, oh, like I got to pick one or the other. But God doesn't necessarily say pick one or the other. He says don't put one over me though. So
Hold your horses. Hold on. No. I think people miss out on, oh, we didn't talk about this. I like this. I think people miss out on the purpose of that. You cannot serve two gods. You went too deep. You missed the surface lesson. Money shouldn't be your God. It serves you. You don't serve it. So it's not even about whether it's evil or not. That has nothing to do with anything. Right? You don't serve money. You serve God. Your money serves you.
Right.
Okay? We don't even got to go deeper than that. Some people do serve money. That's cool. But just know just know that if you serve money, you're not going to be serving God.
If you serving money, you like the last man in the parable who put his money in the ground and hid it. Because the rest of them knew.
You think that's what that's like?
Yeah, the rest of them knew to go here and plant and invest, because we called to be sowers and give here and give here. And when he came back, he said, here, you did this. I have more for you. But the one, he said, what he say? I can't quote it verbatim, but he said, that I did not sow where I did not harvest, or something like that, because in the aspect of, he was so afraid of that money. He served it so much that it had to be so protected. And so
I'm not mad at that, but I'm gonna tell you how I perceive it. Okay, so for those of you who don't know the story, Jesus gave a parable about the sower. He said there was a master. He had 3 servants. He knew he was going on a long trip, so he gave his servants money and came back home. His first servant, he gave 10 talents to. When he came back home, he doubled his money. He went out and invested the money. He doubled his money. The second servant, he gave 5 talents to. He went out and invested. He doubled his money. And he took, y'all did a good job. Then the other one, he gave 1 talent to. And he did not invest his money. He hid his money. He buried it. And he said, I knew how harsh you are, so I was afraid that I was going to lose it. The way that I interpret that is so many levels to it. It's not that he worshiped the money. It's that he didn't know God enough. God, this is this is really good for you guys as investing, especially for those of you who are more cautious with your money and you're scared to invest your money. You are scared of some sort of punishment if you mess up. And if you know God, you will know that God does not hate you if you make a mistake. And so this guy, I believe that God was mad at him because, one, you don't know me well enough. What makes you, what about my personality makes you think that I'm going to be mad at you if you make a mistake? And I think we do that a lot as it pertains to God. Like, oh my God, I don't want to go to the left. You talked about something before we got on about like, hey, this is something that I've dealt with. And I said to you, I want you to remember that you got to stay vigilant about that thing, but don't beat yourself up about dealing with that thing because God knows you're human. Okay? So first of all, the fact that you thought, hey, I can't go invest this because God's going to be mad at me if I mess up. What do you mean? At that point in the Bible is 75% of the way done. You got the whole entire Old Testament to get to know him and know that he don't get mad at you when you make a mistake. And I always give you a way to get it back together. That's the first thing that I took. The second thing is God gives us all, so you call it talents, but also talents. I'm giving you gifts. And we were also talking about this too, about like having confidence in our capabilities. God didn't give you these capabilities so you can just walk around and just, I have capabilities. Look at me on Instagram. Here's my booty cheek. Here's my Rolex. We're going to talk about the Rolex again. Here's my Rolex, right? God didn't give you those talents and those gifts for you to flash them. He gave them to you so you can use them in the kingdom. They are meant to be used.
That go back to what you said in last episode, the bar. I don't know if the people really caught the bar that you said, but I've been saying the bar to people. And you said, God doesn't fuel your passions, or you said God doesn't fund your passions.
He funds your purpose.
He funds your purpose.
Right.
And so
God is an investing God. That's like me giving money to invest in a business. We talking about this is like you giving money to invest in a business and then the business does nothing with it. What do you mean? That's not why I made you smart. That's not why I made you capable. That's not why I put you in this position to have the desire to build generational wealth for your family, to have ambition. I didn't give you that ambition so you can go out and dangle it in front of chicks. I didn't give you. I'm going to bring up another story. We didn't even get to this part yet. Let me bring up another story from the Bible. One of my favorite stories. I always get teary-eyed when I tell this story because this story relates to me so very much. Okay. So first of all, as I'm about to tell you all this story, I'm going to give you all my age. I'm 42 years old. Okay. So you need to know that. All right. So, because y'all need to understand that I'm very much so mature than what I'm about to reveal.
Okay.
Very mature.
Check the hands.
Okay. So look, right. One of my favorite stories is about the woman by the well. Right? Woman by the well. The disciples went to go get food. Jesus insisted on staying back by this well near Samaria with this woman, or Samaritans, right? Samaria, okay. This woman who is at the well during the time is not usually the time that women are at the well, okay? So he has this encounter with her, and he asks her, hey, get me some water. And she's like, what do you mean? You're a rabbi. Y'all don't mess with us Samaritans.
Right.
Like, why are you even here? And he's like, how about this? How about I don't even need your water. I got water that make you not want to hunger or thirst ever again.
Yeah, thirst ever again.
So she's like, what are you talking about? So then he just starts spitting off facts about her life. Like, listen, how about you've been married 5 times and the men that you married, the man that you married, that you with now, that ain't even your husband. She's like, what are you talking about? Okay. So as a result, she ends up going back into the village, and the scripture is very specific. It says that she told men about this man. that she met Jesus. Now, if you think about the story, you got to kind of like do a little bit of digesting a little bit. All the way back then, this woman been married 5 times, and she got some dude shacking up with her right now. What does this say about this woman? This says that she has a way with men. Men listen to her. And you could say all you want to on a illicit or inappropriate way about this woman, but that has nothing to do with it. People don't marry women just for those lustful reasons, okay? This woman knows how to talk to men. She's been using her gift this whole time in the wrong way. That's the whole point of reason why I'm telling this story. Mm-hmm. Some of you have gifts and you're using them in the wrong way, okay? We're going to pretend y'all here because we're talking about investing. You're here to use these gifts that you have, that you are effective in the workplace, you are effective amongst certain people, you are effective with children. You're not using them in a way to build up the kingdom. Mm-hmm. She had a way with men. She wasn't using them in that way. Mm-hmm. Then Jesus came. And now this is why I gave you that gift, to be able to know how to talk to men, because I know when you go and tell people, they're going to listen to you.
Right.
Regardless of whether I tell you to tell them or not. Mm-hmm. I know you.
Mm-hmm. And she went and told everybody after that.
She went and told everybody. Okay, cool. Some of you are using your gifts wrong. And so we need to reappropriate how you use your gifts. And we need to talk about how you can buy these businesses. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. The silver tsunami is upon us. The silver tsunami is with this baby boomer transition of assets into the next transition is called. Mm-hmm. The silver tsunami is upon us, and $5 trillion is being transferred. Mm-hmm. What are we going to do? How are we going to approach it? I'm going to give you a 5-step approach into analyzing these businesses, and then we're going to talk about some other areas that you need to be looking at in terms of analyzing these businesses. We're going to do a brief overview of how to run these types of businesses, and the last thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about how to finance these transactions. Of the 5 things that we're going to look at to identify businesses, the first one is going to be the industry. This is why we talk so much about macro on this channel, because this is the area that people are going to mess up at. Most people are going to find industries by looking over industry by industry. And that's an awful way of looking for businesses. Like, you just go industry by industry. You see people, oh, this person is doing this. Let me look into that. This person is doing this. Let me look into that. Awful. It's almost like, think about if you're dating, right? And you say, you know what, I'm just going to go out and date every woman that approaches me. I'm just going to date every woman that approaches me. That's not a strategic way of doing it. Strategic way of doing it is saying, hey, I want this type of woman. Where does this type of woman go? I need to do the things that this type of woman does. I need to be at those places and become the man that attracts this type of woman. And so that's what we're going to do. That's why we look at macro, so that we can narrow down. It's more important to know what not to invest in, to know what to invest in. And so as we have been looking at volatility, we've been looking at AI, we've been looking at real estate. Now we can see things from a top-down perspective. Now we can start identifying the industries that are going to be very attractive to us. So I've already given everybody a bunch of industries that the data says that these are going to be the good industries. First one, apartment buildings. Specifically Invictus Elite Fund, okay? If you want to invest with us, we have a $15 million fund. We give a 20% IRR, 2.5x equity multiple, 5 to 7 year hold term. The information down below if you are interested, if you're an accredited investor and you are interested, okay? There are also ways that you can invest without being an accredited investor. I probably will talk about it on another episode. I was considering talking about it today, but we're going to talk about that another time. Okay, apartment buildings, whether you invest with us or not, apartment buildings, I feel like I've given you good case for why apartment buildings are the wave, right? They're going to outperform in the next couple of years.
Right.
Okay. The next thing we talked about is I gave you the idea of niching down with debt funds for micro businesses on a local level. Okay, you got to really know your stuff to be able to do this, but that is an opportunity. The next one is investing in skills businesses, trades businesses, I should say.
The picks and shovels too.
And then we talked about the picks and shovels. The picks and shovels of what's happening right now. Right. So like I was looking, they were saying that like AI data centers, not AI.
The data centers.
The data centers. Okay. The picks and shovels. AI is going to be here. The industry could potentially collapse. Doesn't matter, but it's going to be here. What are the picks and shovels of it?
And that made me think about something that I listened to, an interview that I heard a CEO speaking on. And he was like, there's one thing that is common among the wealthy and CEOs and things like that. And he was like, it's not that they're the most smartest. He was like, they're just good at solving problems.
Good at solving problems. That's the number one thing. So actually, when I gave you that example earlier about the dresses and all of that. We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay. I don't want to talk about solving problems with the industry. I want to talk about that in number 2. We'll get to number 2 in just a minute. But identifying the industry. So you got your skills. Today I want to really, really focus on the trades businesses because those are the ones that the baby boomers are mostly transferring. The trades businesses. Your HVAC businesses, your plumbing businesses. It's a bunch of different types of trades businesses, but also too, like you got small storage as well, medical facilities, dentist businesses, right? Private equity is buying dentist businesses. Crazy, okay? So identify an industry that you think, remember I talked about, you got to make a prediction about what you think that the world is going to go in. Okay? I can tell you what I hypothesize, but you got to make this decision. This ain't investment advice. Okay? All right. So this money is transferring. You've identified an industry. The next thing, this is where I shine, which is business model. You want to find businesses in your industry that have a solid business model. What do I mean by that? Any normal business can offer a service, can sell a product. Any normal business can do that. But the problem with just putting up your sign and say, hey, I sell this service, I sell this product, is that you leave yourself open for competition. Competition is the worst thing for business. It's the worst thing for business because it's also almost probably the most unnecessary thing in business. There is, in this book called The 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing, the number 1 law is to be the first in any category. The number 2 law is if you can't be the first, create a new category and be the first in that. Okay? So what do I mean by that? Now, to go even more in depth, we have a newsletter where I break down structurally interesting things that really move the market. I give you my frameworks for how I think specifically about business, because you need to understand business to understand this stuff. Also, too, y'all know I have partners for our private equity fund, and they contribute to the newsletter too. They know their stuff with apartment investing. Noelle Parnell and Arthur Lyons. Get on the newsletter. The link will be down below. It is 100% free. In this book called The 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing, the number 1 law is to be the first in any category. The number 2 law is if you can't be the first, create a new category and be the first in that. Okay? So what do I mean by that? If you are an HVAC business and you see in this particular area there are 13 HVAC businesses, now you got to say, okay, you know what? In this zip code, 19139, in this particular zip code, I'm going to be an HVAC business, but I'm going to be the best and the cheapest. I'm going to be known for being the cheapest and the best. So here's a framework that I want you to remember. There are 3 ways that you can differentiate yourself. It's either being the best, The quality, the fastest, or the cheapest. You can be two. You cannot be all three. Pick two. One, boring. Pick two. The highest quality, we're the fastest. The highest quality, we're the cheapest. Or you solve some other unique problem.
Right.
Like, hey, we're HVAC, but we also give quotes, or we can give you a I'm just making up other solved problems that need to be solved. Like, we're HVAC, but we can
finding another alternative.
Or let me go down this road just a little bit. So, like, let's say for instance, I need a new HVAC system in my house.
Right.
Okay. Chances are, if you need a new HVAC system, I might need to go into the walls. What if I had a service where I already swatched off your paint and found the exact paint color and got it matched to your, and I'm not saying you might not be something that you make a whole bunch of money at, but you're solving a problem. Hey, we do HVAC, but also we leave your house still looking pretty. Right? You don't have to worry about all the holes and all that stuff that's going to come about. Solve a new problem. This is the business model portion of it. So there are infinite ways that you can think about new problems to solve, but think about it in terms of solving a problem. How can you solve a unique problem within the space? When you're going to buy these businesses, what you want to look for is businesses that have a different approach to their business model rather than just setting up shop and selling the thing. Unless they're selling a thing that they have a complete monopoly on. Because if they cannot control the market, when other people see that they're doing this, they're going to get in and you're going to have competition. And that is something that is, again, not necessary. As long as you can come up with a business model that is very difficult to duplicate. Business model is key though. Like, unless you have something in, think about when you're watching Shark Tank. That's one of the questions that they're always asking. Like, hey, how can you create can you corner the market on this? Like, they don't want to do business with somebody that their business model their formula, their business model, anything can be duplicated.
Yeah.
Why would you want to do that? That is very stressful. So again, look for people who have different business models. Here's some other things about business models too. Business models can be process for how they actually deliver a product. It can be an internal process for how they maybe get the speed going, like, make it faster. It can be anything internal or external that makes them different.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3, the third thing we want to look at is financial health. Okay, how profitable is this business? What is their profit margin? Now, there is no blanket answer around profit margin. Every business has a different profit margin that's standard for that industry and for the size. So a very large business may have a slimmer profit margin than a smaller business. A trucking business is going to have a slim profit margin than a consulting business. So you cannot go into this thinking that the idea behind profit margin is one size fits all. This is why you have to understand your industry, and you need to understand, where does this business that you're looking at, where do they fall on this?
I think that's very deep, a very important factor.
Right.
Very deep and a very important factor.
You think that's deep?
Yeah, because I think that most people fail at business because they don't understand that aspect of profit margin.
Really?
Because for the simple fact of, like you said, it's not a one size fits all thing. If you run a digital marketing agency versus a trucking company, your profit margin is going to be significantly different, because for a truck, you have the gas, you have the maintenance. If you leasing it, you got the lease. So you might make, I don't know, 500 million on paper, right? But it might have cost you
profit 50,000,
450 million that year to make, so but that profit margin is only 50 million. But on paper, it's 500 million came in. But
Well, 50, that's a 10% is a huge profit margin. But I get what you're saying.
but
yes.
yeah, like digital marketing company, if you made 500 million, it might have only took you, 25% of that to even just
Right.
so your profit margin is widened. So yeah, I think that people don't understand that aspect of profit margin when it comes to what they're looking for. What? So it's not that I don't think people understand profit margin. I think that they have unreasonable expectations.
Always. That is literally the number one reason why people end up getting the whole thing in the influencer space about scams. That's the biggest red flag. You have to have a good understanding about profit margins for what it is that you're investing in. The risk of the thing, the risk of the business, the risk of the thing you're investing in. Goes for passive versus active. You need to understand, you have to have a good barometer for what should be expected. Okay? Does it always work out? No. But you at least need to understand if somebody is promising you a crazy return and like for this type of business, this shouldn't be the case, or you shouldn't even be thinking, oh, I want to double my money in 6 months. That is insane. Somebody's transporting some cocaine somewhere for that.
Yeah. Something is happening on the back end.
Something's happening.
Yeah.
They may come and knock on your door, and you got to be okay with that if you decide you want to do that. Okay? So you got to think about the profit margins. You also got to think about cash flow. You have to think about EBITDA, earnings before taxes, interest, depreciation, and amortization. This number, this is basically your margin, right? You want to look at the margin within the EBITDA, okay? It really is going to vary depending on the business, but you really want to roll up your sleeves and look at these numbers. You want to make sure you avoid businesses where there's declining cash flows over the last 2 years. You want to make sure that you avoid businesses that have exposure to one person. Like right now, this podcast, I have no desire to sell it because it's just Nicole. Like, who would come and buy this if it's me? Like, oh yeah, buy it. I mean, people actually do buy YouTube channels for different reasons, but like right now, it all relies on me. One of the other things you want to look out for as it pertains to this is I'm asking you to pull up all these financials, right? You want to have balance sheet, you want to have a statement of cash flows, you want to really look at their financials. If they have messy financials, that is a red flag. Okay? Remember, everything is volatile right now, so you're going to have to underwrite conservatively. Okay?
You said everything is volatile right now and people have to underwrite conservatively. Now, as far as the underwriting part of it, how can people learn how to underwrite conservatively?
This is what I'm telling you to be. This is what I'm telling you. Like, first of all, you have to have either you or a partner. I'm giving you an overview, but you or a partner really needs to understand this. And also be keeping in the back of your mind that right now, Big Wall Street is pulling out of investing in these types of businesses with the private credit crisis thing that's happening right now. One, because they're considering it risky. Two, they don't really fully understand. They can't truly underwrite it. What you're doing right now is you are going in and looking under the hood in ways that they can't look under the hood because you understand the industry and they don't. They're just writing. Just think about the way that banks do bank loans, right? This is not private credit, but I already know it's going to trickle over there. But think about how banks do bank loans. Are they really looking under your business? No. They're doing the same thing with these tech companies. They're doing the same thing with some of these larger private credit deals. It'll work out. But your advantage right now is the fact that you understand this business. Specifically, let's talk about apartment investing. One of the things we do every week within our private investor network, the Profit Door, is we do ironclad underwriting, or we do it every other week. We do ironclad underwriting. We literally go painstakingly over how to underwrite apartment buildings.
So you guys do that. You look under the hood, look under the financials.
Look under the hood, look under the I mean, when I say look under the hood, we have a whole framework called the metric framework.
So can anybody can
join our investor network.
Okay.
It's only $97 a month.
Okay.
And we have different speakers come in on Wednesday afternoons. We do ironclad underwriting. And plus, if y'all really like my Bible stuff, I have a whole entire framework called God, Goals, and Money, 47 trainings. And I don't want anybody coming into my community not with their head right.
Right.
And so it is a biblically based program, 47 trainings. Everybody, when they come in, they start going through it and they be like, this is so good, because I realign our members' thoughts and ideas behind investing. Because a lot of people go their whole lives misunderstanding investing from a spiritual perspective. And I don't mean from a religious perspective. I mean from a spiritual perspective. And in order to accomplish your goals, you got to shift some of your beliefs. And if you think that you got it all figured out, while year after year after year after year of trying to figure it out, and you don't, you got to shift some of your beliefs, and you're holding on to beliefs that don't serve you. So, okay. I do want to say, before we go on to the next thing, I want to talk about one more red flag that you're going to be looking for, which is staffing, even though it's not financials. Staffing. As you are looking at these businesses, what processes do they have in place to keep staff? What is the company culture like? You don't want to buy a business and you got a bunch of Debbie Downers. You got 10 cancers. Awful. And I don't mean the zodiac sign cancer, right? Awful. That's just not something you want to do, okay?
The people will eat that up. Cancer? What's wrong with the cancer?
I love you, Cancer.
But yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay. Now, this is the fun part. Now you're going to be looking at number 4. You're going to be looking at the risk of the business. No business doesn't have a risk. None. So we want to lean into really peeling back the layers behind the internal risk and the external risk. When you do a SWOT analysis, the strengths, weaknesses, your weaknesses are your internal risk, and threats are your external risks, right? Specifically right now, I want to focus on the threats. This is why we do this stuff on this channel. So you understand what are all of the risks associated with the business. For instance, real estate, for a good 5 years, stretch of 5 years, from like from 2017 to about 2023, that's 6 years. You couldn't lose. So people was walking around thinking there's no risk. How do I know? I had conversations with people and they were like, is this really no risk? I know my numbers. Really? What happens if the market moves against you? What happens if interest rates go up? Like, I cannot stress to you how so many people didn't think about these things. And you have to think very soberly about this stuff. What are the risks? How easy is for someone to duplicate your system? How easy is it for, maybe your business is solely reliant on one customer. That is a risk. Be careful of that. Maybe your business is reliant on one supplier. We need to be really, really sober about this. Some of these risks they can be managed. And remember, the boomer's aging, so he probably don't feel like it. He's just dealing with it.
Right.
Like, I've been trying to sell this business for the past 5 years. I'm just getting through it. Okay, I don't feel like, look, this may be something where this is an opportunity for you. Okay, so we need to be thinking about all of the risks and understand how every part of this business can be affected, and can it be managed? Is it a system that you can come in and put in place and just like mitigate this risk as much as possible? All right?
Yeah.
The last thing is the valuation. Now, this is where you're going to have to do a little bit of work. Every business, every industry has a different way that the valuation is calculated. Okay? For large businesses, they be talking like 10 times revenue. Small business, 3 to 5. For this type of business, it could be 7 to 8. For that type of business, it could. This is where chat can really help you out. Again, we talked about this before. Talk to even have a conversation with some business brokers, but compare, because some business brokers, they don't be knowing. So now we need to have a serious conversation of valuation. If you put this amount of money out, how much money do you expect to get back? Not considering debt. You also got to look, and also I left this part out. When you're looking at the financials, you need to understand what type of debt this business has, because you want to make sure you're clearing the debt when you go in, when you go buy the business.
Want to make sure you get in the black.
Right.
I would actually be willing to say myself, if I can, that there's a 612 as far as once you've gotten through 1 through 5 and you have quote unquote arrived, right?
You found this business and they're great.
And let's say you found it, it's great, and then let's say you started it and you've done it.
Okay.
And you're in it.
Okay.
I would say a 6-1 would be sustainability. And the only reason I say that
I'm gonna come to that in a minute, but go ahead. I'm gonna say some stuff that's gonna go in that direction. Go ahead.
It's just based upon what we talked about off camera when I told you about, just certain feelings of how I was feeling about where I was in the previous season. And, in a season of like, okay, what to do, unsure, going through it. And now I have come to a season where I have arrived.
I like where you're taking this. Okay.
And
so I was going to, okay. Let's talk about sustainability from a earthly perspective and a spiritual perspective. Okay. So I like this number 6. Number 6 is sustainability in the sense of, hopefully I'm going to be able to encapsulate what you're trying to say to drive this point home. I really like how you think right here. Number 6, sustainability. Can you sustain this business and all the beauty that you see? Because I think that'd be a good place where people be fearful about buying these boomer businesses. It's like, can I come in and do this? Okay. Sustainability from a worldly perspective, I wanted to very much so talk about this, about the 3 areas of business. This is not mine. This is from the book Traction. Okay. Actually, I sitting right there. Okay. The 3 areas of every business. The first area is sales and marketing.
Okay.
The next area is operations. That's how you deliver the product. And the last area is finances, financials, finance.
Okay.
Right? Like accounts payable, accounts receivable, all that stuff. Paying the bills, paying people, staff, salaries, all that, right? Payroll. In terms of sustaining the business, you're going to need to have systems, clear ways of implementing systems on day 1 in all 3. Clear ways of implementing systems in all 3.
That's good info.
Like, I cannot stress that.
Yeah.
This won't work unless you have this on day 1. So when you're analyzing these businesses, you want to know about their systems. I probably should have put that in the business model section.
I mean, you can go in there, yeah.
So either one of 2 things. The business needs to have these systems already very clear cut in place, or you need to be so good at implementing systems or using AI to bring in, because that's a whole nother thing. A lot of these businesses don't have AI in it. And so this is something that you can be doing, like, oh my goodness, their overhead looks awful. All these businesses is figuring out how to drop their overhead. You can buy this business. Hey, you're not profitable. I can buy it at pennies on the dollar because you're not profitable, because I already know how to put these AI systems in place.
Right.
In those 3 areas. Operations, how you deliver the products. Sales and marketing. And finance. The other thing about operations, I want to stress this. Operations is not just how you, it's not just how you deliver the product, but it's also how you run the business too. Like, don't forget that.
Right.
Because how you run the business is how you deliver the product.
Right.
Right? So You want to make sure that you have a clear way. Now, are you going to have systems in all of like dope systems in all these places on in day one? No, you just at least need to have a clear path to that. If it's a situation where it's like, hey, I don't really know how to put systems in place, maybe you identify someone who you can hire, build them into your underwriting. Because I know on day one, I'm specifically thinking about, like, I don't know why, somebody that I know who understands how to run certain types of systems in certain businesses. Oh, I know Miss Jenny. Miss Jenny's going to cost $7,000 a month. Build that into your underwriting, because I ain't doing that. Miss Jenny know how to set up a call center. Their call center sucks. I'm building $70,000 into this because Miss Jenny, that's how much she's going to cost. Okay? Just making that example up.
Yeah.
The other thing you want to do as you're thinking about systems, your business model. This is like key. Every business is not going to have this. If they have this, this is a plus. But their way of doing the business, their way of doing systems. So when you first started here, I gave you documents on documents about how we do this. Okay? I call it the NP Authority Protocol. This is how this works. And so when Brandon came on in November, like I want to stress this to y'all. When Brandon came in November, I knew exactly how I was going to run our content systems.
In the NP Command Center.
In the NP Command Center. Okay? I knew exactly how I was going to run everything in it. Before we started. We started recording in November.
Right.
By February, we went viral. Because I had a name for the system, for the operating system. I knew exactly what it was going to do. Anything y'all seen me post over the past 2 years, that was just to hold the place. I knew exactly what I was going to do today. But I knew I had to put my attention on the fund, get all this stuff together on the fund, you know, selling an apartment, selling my my units. Y'all know I moved. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I knew exactly how I was going to operate. And the day, 30 days after we operated in that system, here we are. And it's turning into real money for us.
Sounds like a little bit you crossing over to the spiritual side too, a little bit.
In terms of where you want to go with this, because I can go with this multiple places.
To that Philippians, what was it? Philippians?
Oh, a system, a recipe,
prayer, supplication.
Yes, I know,
Yeah.
Okay, so
what's the? So I'm gonna have it up so I can have it up.
Scripture is Philippians 4:6-8.
All right, Philippians 4.
I think it's just 4. That particular verse is 4.
4. Yes.
So okay, Brandon and I were having a conversation about regulating your nervous system for new levels of success. This is very, very important for you guys, because if you take any of this information from this podcast or any of the other stuff y'all listen to, because I know YouTubers, y'all be listening to all the people, okay? So I know you guys be listening to other people. Anything, unless you can regulate your nervous system for the success that you are trying to manifest, you will sabotage it every time. You will sabotage it.
That's a bar.
You will look for, you will either sabotage it or you will increase the complexity and the difficulty of achieving it. Like you're literally always putting something in front of yourself subconsciously, coming up with excuses. Because it can't be this easy. Okay? So the reality is, as you get better and better and better, it should get easier. I had this conversation with somebody for myself. I had to like really let go because of the way that I was raised, always doing puzzles and like doing all these hard brain teasers and all these things. I love that about my childhood, but it made me associate winning with difficulty.
Right.
And so I can only win if it's complex and difficult, because I have fun doing these complex, difficult things. But the reality is, when I was having a conversation with one of my coaches, you know, I have coaches, she basically was like, she sat there and was like, basically, listen to me talk stupid. And then she was like, by your definition, you're smart. Shouldn't it be easy if you're smart? And that's it.
Yeah. And like you told me, I was associating winning with something eventually going wrong.
Yes. And so you just wait, your nervous system is waiting for the shoe to drop. And so it's not the waiting for the shoe to drop that's the problem. It's the state of mind that you're in, the dysregulation of the nervous system because you are afraid of it. That's what the problem is,
So
the dysregulation.
So the question is,
So
how do
we
you
fix it?
that?
Okay,
Yeah.
how do we fix it? So when Brandon and I were talking about it, I pointed him to one of my favorite scriptures, Philippians 4:6-8. Now, I have done a whole hour and a half long Bible study on just those 3 scriptures, but we're going to focus on one section. Read off.
You said Philippians 4.
Yeah, read off 4.
6-8.
Read Philippians 4:6. Yes.
Okay. It says, "Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God, and the peace of God, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through Jesus Christ."
Okay. Again, I can spend 30 minutes on that verse alone. But what I want you to notice is peace of God section, right? So peace of God denotes a regulated nervous system. You are not stressed. You are not anxious, because it starts with be anxious for nothing or be careful for nothing, right? So being careful or anxious is a dysregulated nervous system. That means you're living in fight or flight, right? You're living in survival mode, fight or freeze, right? You're living in survival mode, right? When you're anxious, whether you got money or not, if you're anxious, you're in survival mode. Okay, so hey, we're trying to get to the peace of God, which transcends all understanding. And usually that is like, it doesn't make sense. Why are you so peaceful?
Right.
Because, for instance, if someone is going from being broke to all of a sudden now you're doing what, or you're always constantly looking for the next investment opportunity and then you get it, you being peaceful in that will transcend all understanding, because hey, you've been stressed out about this for the past 9 years. Right? Okay, so cool. Now we understand the components. But the formula in there is by prayer with supplication and thanksgiving. I love that because most people overlook it. But what Paul is giving us in this scripture is a recipe. Most people don't know this, but there are, depending on who breaks it down, there are anywhere from 5 to 8 different types of prayer. Okay? I'm going to break down, my definition has 7. We're going to talk about, I'm not going to go through all 7, go talk about them. I'll list them off, and then we'll come back to the scripture and how it applies. Okay. The different types of prayer, the first one is petition. The next one is supplication. We got intercession, got praise, we got thanksgiving, we got repentance, we got guidance. All right? So those are 7. I think I did 7. We can talk about it another day. So what Paul is saying, in order to regulate your nervous system so you can have that peace of God, so you can go from doing this thing to doing that thing, here is the combination: by prayer with supplication and thanksgiving. Okay, prayer, what mixture of prayer? Supplication with thanksgiving. Okay, what is supplication? Supplication is making a request.
Okay.
But it's not just making a request. This is where people go wrong when they pray. They think that praying is just making a request, because that is a form of prayer. And some spiritual people will tell you that's not prayer, going to beg God for something. First of all, the scripture says we go boldly to the throne. Okay? So you ain't got to beg for nothing. Your Father loves you and he wants to give it all to you.
Come on, sister.
Okay?
Wow.
But you do got to let him know.
Yeah.
God, this is what I like. Because guess what God told David? Or what Nathan told David when he called him out? That God said, anything you wanted from me, I would have given it to you. All you had to do was ask. So we do need to ask. Okay? But it's not just asking. Supplication with thanksgiving. So you have to ask in the spirit of gratitude. Sometimes we ask, but we allow the absence of that thing to keep us from experiencing the emotion of gratitude. You can experience gratitude before it's here. So while you are allowing that thing to keep you from experiencing the emotion of gratitude, guess what you are doing? You are worshiping the thing. Because now it is controlling you. You're making it a source for your happiness.
That's a bar too.
Those are bars.
Bars.
That's a verse.
Essentially, you're
That's
displaying
16.
you're displaying gratitude for the thing that God has already done in your life.
Even though it's not here in the physical.
It ain't here yet.
And you are saying to him, God, I can experience this emotion. I'm not letting it hold me hostage.
And you experienced that back in November.
I experience this all the time. This is the thing that I didn't know that I knew how to do that most people don't know how to do. I'm not keeping this illusion from keeping me from experiencing emotion that I want to experience. But I'm going to tell you right now, yes, that is what I experienced in November before doing all of this. But I'm going to tell you right now, the times that I've had bad times in my life is when I've subconsciously allowed the thing that, whatever the thing is, hold me hostage to experience an emotion. I feel like I need to achieve this before doing this. Brandon just put up the word ask. I don't know what he's talking about.
I was just saying, that would be a good segue to ask the question.
What was the question that we was going to ask?
Oh, okay. So the question is, what are you thanking God for? What are you thanking God for right now?
Yes, we decided we was going to ask a question. So the question to you is, what are you thanking God for right now that has not manifested in the physical? Because this physical is an illusion. It's not real. The fact that you don't have it is not a real thing. Okay? This is telling you don't have it, but that don't mean that you don't have it. Because this thing is not real.
That part.
Okay. So I'm assuming that most of y'all, the answer is, I am thanking God that we are invested in Nicole's fund. I am thanking God that we have successfully purchased our first business. I am thanking God that I had a great day trading. I am experiencing the emotion, not fake thinking. I am experiencing the emotion right now.
Really grateful.
I'm experiencing it. I'm not holding the fact that it is not showing up in this imposter realm. I'm not allowing that to hold this emotion, me and this emotion, hostage from each other.
Thanksgiving.
So with prayer, with supplication and thanksgiving, make your request, experience the gratitude. That is how you regulate your nervous system for the next step.
That sounds very simple. I'm about to do that today.
That's what I said to you. Meditate. You're like, oh, find my time to meditate. Bruh, you don't need time to meditate. You can do it anytime. You don't need a whole lot of time. All right, cool. I want to get to the last section of this is, now we got to talk about how do we come up, we find these businesses. How do we come up with the money to find the businesses? Okay. This probably needs to be a whole entire episode. I might do a number part 2 on this, but I do want to give you an overview because I hate when, like, you watch a TV show and they do Game of Thrones, you got to wait till next week. Come on now. You just chopped his head off. What happens next? I need to know. Okay, so I'm going to give you all a little bit of an overview. We're going to talk about a couple different ways, but then there are multiple ways that you can combine these things. And I'm also not going to talk about all the other ways. So it's probably like off the top of my head, like 8 different ways. I'm only going to give you all 4 different ways to finance these businesses. But you can combine all of these, and we're talking about, that's called creative financing, okay? The first way, SBA loans. SBA loans, they finance business acquisitions.
Right.
The next way is you can start a private equity fund.
Yeah.
The next way is owner financing. Some of these people, they don't need a big check. They just don't want to feel like their work has, like, hey, I did all this work. Like I gave you an example of a good friend of mine who's closing her business. She did like 10 million. I get that you don't want to do the work. Like, you could have some type of thing where it's like, hey, I'm financing this over 30 years, so you're still getting a check. The last example that we're going to talk about today is a rollover, where you come in, you start operating a business, and the seller keeps an equity portion in the business. But the numbers obviously got to make sense for all of this.
Right.
So if y'all want me to continue to talk about this, down in the caption, because I really want to talk about it from a private equity standpoint, because I actually made a post on Instagram the other day where I said that people get so caught up in nomenclature, semantics, that private equity is evil, but yet at the same time, these same people will talk about cooperative economics. Private equity is the same thing as cooperative economics. They've been doing cooperative economics up under your throat, up under your nose, on a large scale, right in front of your eyes. And you're, private equity bought my apartment building and now it's the crap. They own all the supermarkets.
Yeah.
And then you go in your meetings and your black power, white power meetings, whatever one you choose. And you talk about cooperative economics and it's the same thing. And you don't have to, people associate private equity with large numbers so much that I did a post and I said, hey, marketing for a private equity fund is anywhere from 10,000 to like 50,000. I can't remember the exact number. And then the person commented and said, Instagram actually hit it for me. And it was weird that it hit it. I'm glad, because I'm eating her up in its comments. And I don't really feel like this being public, whatever. But she said 10,000 for marketing a fund is unrealistic. And I replied, and she said, I work in private equity, VC space, da 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 da. And I said, what are the size of the funds that you're doing and what is the complexity? Minimum 100 million. Now, ma'am, do you think I'm recommending that my followers do 100 million VC fund? First of all, I don't do that. Second of all, not for your first fund. What are you talking about? My fund is 15 million. People can do funds down to $1 million. Your first fund could be $1 million. It could be 5 million. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Especially, most of you are going to be doing 506Bs, which means you can raise money from unaccredited investors, and it's usually your friends and family. What do you need marketing? You don't need she said 200 grand in marketing. What are you talking about? Why do you think I'm talking about that? Well, you should have said micro funds. No, I shouldn't have. You shouldn't be on my page. This is not content. It's not for you.
That part. That part.
This is not for you. Leave me alone. First of all, I did mention all of this.
This is my show.
Right. It's not for you. Some of y'all got the money right in your families. You don't even need to spend a dime on marketing.
That part.
They got Gamma.io right now. You don't even need to pay somebody to make your PowerPoint.
It's bars
AI
in
make
this
for
one.
it right now.
Yeah.
As a professional PowerPoint maker, I used to get paid to make PowerPoint. I think I used to charge $1,000 for people's 10-page PowerPoint back in the day when I had a digital marketing agency. I used Gamma.io on our PowerPoint for our fund. Do your outline, drop it in there. I'm a control freak, so I didn't let the the AI write it for me, but I let the AI design and map it out. Of course, I made a ton of tweaks. It did take me way long to do all that, but that's neither here nor there. You don't even need to spend anything. Some of y'all got the money right in your family. I'm thinking about one of my really good colleagues, and we're going to end this. One of my really good colleagues, her black family. Some of y'all come from really good families. Her family is the bomb. They support each other in everything. They own some big 40-acre, and they just be having all these healthy conversations about how to invest, where to invest. Hey, the dad had an investment idea, called his daughters the other day, including my friend. Some of y'all got these families. Some of y'all don't. Some of y'all got homies. Some of y'all is dating the people. And you need to stop marrying the men and start spreading the word and getting your coins. Stop dating them and using them as investors, because you know how to talk to them so much. You know how to communicate with them so well. Some of you guys know how to date and meet successful women so much, and y'all keep breaking their hearts, and God didn't give you that gift for that. He gave you the gift because you know how to communicate with that type of woman. And that is where your fruit is. You need to keep it transactional with her.
Dang. Wake the brothers up with that one.
It's the same thing for
And
women. Let me just be clear. This is a two-way street.
Yeah. Just wake everybody up.
I had to learn this this is why I brought my agent to it. When that scripture hit me, it helped me to understand I appreciate all y'all comments about my looks. I do. I am very aware that I'm a reasonably attractive woman.
Mm-hmm.
I had to learn God didn't give you this to date all the athletes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He didn't give me this to date back when it was cool to date. And now it ain't cool no more.
Mm-hmm.
These dudes is walking around in booty shorts and crop tops and bikini tops.
No.
Making babies.
Yeah, that part.
Back when athletes, I don't know what they was doing behind closed doors.
Mm-hmm.
But back when it was cool, God didn't give me this for that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was racking them up. I'm not lying. I'm not lying. He didn't give me this for that.
Uh-huh.
He gave me to stop you in your scroll
Mm.
so I can have a conversation to you about your purpose.
He did. He did. That's what you said, that your purpose was in the beginning. That's how you started it.
And on that note,
That's how you started, that's how you finished.
it's called a goosh. They introduced a Seinfeld episode. They introduced the joke in the beginning, bring it back around to the end. Martin did the same thing. With that being said, what's up?
I was telling, who was that? I think I was talking to my mom. I think it was my mom. Yeah, that was my mom I was
Do
talking
you be
to.
telling your mom how I be agreeing with everything she be saying?
Yeah. And
You
my
do?
mom really likes you. She's like, oh, I like her so much. She was like, yeah, I see you. I see similarities. But then she was just like, she really sees a lot of value in you. And then she was like, that's what I like though the most. Like, she was just like, from what I explained to her and stuff. And she was like, because my mom older, right? So she called you young. She said,
No, I'm a young version of her.
She said, how old is she? I was like, she's around 40. She's like 42. She was like, oh, wow. I thought she was just so much older than that. Like, she young. I said, young, ma. She 42. Like,
I'm 50-something, so yeah, I'm young to her.
She was like, child, I'm 50. Whatever she said, I'm 50. She said, but I just thought she was more, older than that. She's so seasoned, so wise. And I'm like, ma, she is. Like, she's a grown adult woman.
I know you think in your mind old is old. I am more mature than a 42-year-old.
I ain't 42. So
I know, but I'm telling you, I'm substantially more mature than a 42-year-old. I've been like this my whole life, though.
Mm-hmm. And I'm 33, so, and I guess I can understand that, too, from the aspect, because when I was younger, when I looked at, like, what 33 would look like, and now I'm 33, I'm like, damn, like, okay. And so maybe I feel like
in
that
your
when I
mind,
get
you're
40.
like old. At this point, you should have it all figured out, no matter what.
That's what I told her. That's what I told my mama. I was like, at a certain age, and she woke me up when I said this, because this is what I said to her. I said, well, I feel like at a certain age, right, in life, that it plateaus out as far as understanding. Like, you have a general basis of, like, understanding. And she was like, nope, that's where you're wrong at.
I was waiting. If I replay this back, you didn't see me. I was like, that ain't how it works.
Yeah.
I will tell you how it does plateau, but it's not a plateau of understanding. It's a plateau of, and it's usually a lot younger. It's a plateau of learning. Like, people, 99%.
That's exactly what she said. Y'all should.
Because what happens is, as a woman, and I'm going to tell you our perspective. As a woman, we think, because your mom is single, right?
Mm-hmm.
As a woman, we think that men one day won't be stupid and immature. And then you look up, and they're 60, and they're doing the same they're doing when they're 20.
Oh, my God, you sound like her. That's what she said. She said, these niggas 60 years old. Literally 60. These niggas 60 years old.
Doing the same shit he was doing at 25.
Oh, man. If I told her you said that, she would cry laughing.
But it's the same thing with women, too. You'll see these women doing the same thing in the club, trying to get the same. They will not learn their lesson. And they be 67 doing the same things. And this is par for the course. So that's why the Bible talks so much about wisdom. With all you're getting, get understanding. Because, hey, it's here, but for some reason, you jokers just give up at 23. You just give up. You become, they talk about neuroplasticity. They say after a certain age, you become less neuroplastic. Like you can't change. You can't learn new things. But it's not about the age. It's more about the compounding of time after that moment when you decide, I don't want to learn no more. And that's where it's on a subconscious level too, though. It's not even about I don't want to learn no more. I don't want to get any wisdom. And I refuse to elevate in my consciousness. And elevating your consciousness is all about removing yourself from the situation and looking down. And then always removing yourself from a situation and looking and going step up and looking down. Right? So like the ability to be able to step outside your emotions and look at this, that's a level of consciousness. And these are the things you get with wisdom, and some people never get out of their emotions. Do you know how those people that don't get out of, I'm using, let's say 0, and they do have 7 levels of consciousness. I don't have them memorized.
Right.
Let's say from 0 to 1 is, hey, I'm experiencing emotions and I'm aware of experiencing emotions. 99% of people don't get out of this. This is a very predictable earthly way of behaving. Because if I know that you can't get out of your emotions, I can always predict what you're going to do.
Yeah.
You have no control over this.
That's where they try to tempt you at over there with that.
That's only Satan's only trick, because he can only operate in here.
And you operated above that.
But then we have the ability to come up here. This is how Satan got Adam and Eve. This is how he tried to get Jesus.
That's good.
Hey, what if I can give you all of this? I know how humans act. He know he the bomb. He know they sweating him right now. I know if I give him all of this, he can't. He's human. Don't make it seem like it was easy for Jesus, because he was sweating it.
Sweating blood.
Right.
Sweating blood.
All of the things. So he said, hey, my flesh wants me to do this, but I am removing myself from the emotion and coming up here and looking down. First of all, I'm not even going to address you. I'm just going to spit scripture back at you. My God said, do not tempt him.
Do not put him to the test.
Do not put him to the test. Fun fact, do you know that God, there's only one thing that God allows us to tempt him with? He does not like to be tempted, but there's only one thing he allows us to be tempted with. He allows us to tempt him with. Only one thing.
The prayer. It said something about, I know the verse because it was like tempt something so I can show you my goodness or something like that, but I don't really know what it was.
The tithes. Pour ye out a blessing, thou shalt we have room enough to receive. Tempt me in this, and I will pour you out a blessing that you shall not have room enough to receive. That's the only way, because he wants you to break the curse of loving money. Because when you love money, you're never going to get ahead.
We went to church today. Yeah. This is good stuff today.